What's up, y'all? So, the Amazon union vote in Alabama is underway right now. So, for those who don't know, probably everybody does at this point. If you have social media, I would be shocked if you haven't seen this. But basically, the conditions that Amazon workers are subjected to across this country are just like horrendous. People are peeing in bottles, defecating in bags, passing out on the job, being forced to work while they're like 8, 9 months pregnant, being docked an hour of pay for showing up a single minute late. These people desperately need a union. Um, but the executives over at Amazon, spearheaded by Jeff Bezos, have basically launched an all out assault on this effort. And obviously, I mean, these problems have been happening for years, and people have been talking about unionizing for a long time, but Amazon has done everything in their power to stop it out, including, indoctrinating their own employees with weird anti-union videos to just kind of scare them. But now they're really, having to fight it aggressively. Since it's actually culminating in a union vote and also in a state that's anti-union. But they're even taking to Twitter. There was Mark Pocant, a representative in the U.S. Congress, I think he was just tweeting about some of the conditions, questioning Amazon. Their account actually responded and said, "You don't really believe the peeing in bottles things, do you? If that were true, nobody would work for us. The truth is that we have over 1 million incredible employees around the world who are proud of what they do and have great wages and healthcare from day one." Okay, so you're just directly contradicting thousands of internet posts and photos. Like, the evidence is undeniable. So for them to come out and just be like, that is complete, who told you that? All our employees, shame on them. They're lying. Not sure what the strategy even is here. I think, they just hit the panic button here, and they were basically like, we gotta do something. We're getting ripped apart on social media. And a lot of people are saying they're using, like Twitter goons to help defend them too. This person tweeting, "Oh my God, just pay your workers more." And somebody just responds, "Did you know that Amazon pays warehouse workers 30% more than other retailers? I feel proud to work for Amazon. They've taken good care of me." And somebody else tweeting, "You're not going to convince the world, the working class, that everything is fine by telling us where to avert our eyes." Somebody respond, "Everything is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with the money I make or the way I am treated at work." Yeah, okay. So I don't know what to even make of that. I mean, who the hell knows if these are, how can that be real? That's my thing. But I won't spend too much time on that. Anyways, they had this rally, right? It was really cool. Bernie was there. Killer Mike was there. I really liked what Killer Mike had to say while he was speaking. So I'll just read some of that. He said, "They might play some Cardi B, might play some Run the Jewels, might play some Lil Baby as they work you like a slave. They might leave a sugary snack out for you to boost your metabolism enough to get through packing packages every 9 seconds. I can't pick my nose in 9 seconds, and you're expecting people to pick something in 9 seconds because you simply need it. I'm going to tell everyone that works here, I'm going to say absolutely you should vote yes for that union. What the union does is give you an organized seat at the table. It allows you to plot, plan, strategize, organize, and mobilize. It allows you to say that pay in Alabama should be more than $16 in a warehouse. It's no way we should be seeing below $20. He's right about that. Don't tell me you want to make an economic investment in my community and then you come pay me fast food wages and don't want an economic and you don't want an economic investment. You want to use me like an indentured servant to enrich the richest man in the world. Man, I couldn't have said it better myself. That's well said right there. He's right. I mean, you shouldn't be paid. The fact that anybody is paid below $20 an hour is absurd. That is totally inconsistent with productivity. People can scream at me all the day long and be like, that's why businesses are going to go out of business if they have to pay workers that much. I'm like, yeah, will they though? Every corporate owner will tell you that, but you know, yeah, unemployment might go up, but man, if people don't get livable wages, they're going to start starving even more than they already are. Killer Mike obviously understands that. He's talking about getting a seat at the table too, which is huge. Unions are basically just unheard of now in the U.S. They used to be everywhere, but just slowly over time they get shipped away, and now we're where we are now. And there's basically no unions, and even the unions that do exist have limited bargaining power. Um, so, I mean, all this kind of comes at a time when disdain for billionaires is basically at an all-time high. There was a you know right-wing think tank funded by the Koch brothers, and even they found that an anti-billionaire message resonated with the vast majority of people they were polling, most of whom were conservatives, and many of whom were even somewhat wealthy. People just don't like billionaires. I think people are starting to understand who truly holds the power in this country and in the global economy. Also, I just can't help thinking this is all in the backdrop of the biggest worker strike in human history, which happened last year. 250 million people went on strike in India. It's really amazing how, when I tell people that this strike happened, they are completely unaware. And I mean, that's not their fault. The media is owned by corporations who are gravely afraid of massive strikes and unionization efforts like this, because they know that those events, coupled with the power of social media, which everybody has, those two together would just be an unstoppable force. So they're going to do everything they can to silence the story, make sure people don't know that yes, a massive worker strike is possible, even in an impoverished country like India, or at least one we would think of as being impoverished. Yeah, so I mean, ultimately, if people stand up to these corporate powers, there's nothing they can do to stop us. You'd be able to guarantee livable wages and humane conditions at the very least. But yeah, I mean, again, Killer Mike hit the nail on the head. Jeff Bezos is an evil, evil man. And so are all these billionaires. Don't be fooled, by the fact that Elon Musk has managed to brand himself as Tony Stark. He's just as slimy as the rest of these bastards, and he still utilizes incredibly unethical labor globally in order to produce things like lithium ion batteries and just all these other electric vehicle components that are made and manufactured, gathered in really, really, really unsavory, unethical ways, including just like things like using child labor, people being paid wages that are below, basically just unthinkable to people here. But yeah, I mean, when Bernie confronted Elon on Twitter, funny how much political discourse happens on Twitter now. I don't know how I feel about that, but he confronted him on there for having such an astronomical amount of wealth. I think he said something like, "Why you and Bezos have more wealth than the bottom 40% or something like that of Americans." And his response was, his weak excuse is like, "I need this money because I'm trying to expand the reach of the human race beyond Earth." What? Okay, obviously this is a cool goal I'd like to achieve, at some point. But let's make sure this planet is like livable first, because 99% of us are going to be stuck here while all the billionaires jet off into space. Yeah, that is not that is not an adequate reason. That is just absurd to me. But ultimately, why am I wasting my breath taking a dump on Elon? Because all these guys work together to make sure they maintain the status quo. Where in which they own all the wealth and assets in the country, and we own none. And if you think they're motivated by anything else other than that goal, then I think I would argue you're being a little idealistic. Um, we need unionization in this country for all workers, really. We need the implementation of wages that are consistent with productivity, like Mike said, 20 plus an hour. And ultimately, we need taxation of uber wealthy people like Bezos and Musk. So let's hope that this unionization effort works and the vote passes. Honestly will be surprised if it doesn't. Uh, that being said, I don't know enough specifics about it to even have a prediction, but I just really hope it does pass, and I think that would set the stage for more unionization efforts nationwide. Um, but yeah, the billionaires are scared and cornered, and we like them that way.